Welcome to the WellPlayed DLC podcast, Australia's juiciest gaming podcast. I am Zach Jackson. Joining me is James Wood.
Hello, gamers.
Hello. Adam Ryan.
Hello. Hi.
And Nathan Hennessy.
Good day, Zach. Welcome,
How you
James,
going, mate?
Adam? Yeah, good, buddy. How are you?
Oh, mate. Loving it. Having a great old time. Aren't we?
We
Time.is.
How are you, James?
clap.
I'm thriving. How are you?
Fucking living La Vida Loca. As
That's it.
Ooh.
Hopefully not too much Loca, but
no,
yeah.
just a little bit of Loca. just the right amount.
The appropriate amount of. I'm not going to make it. Yes.
Yes. All right. Adam,
Made it
how are
this far,
you?
boys? Keep going.
Good, mate. I'm good. I just had an apple cake. I'm living on cloud 9. It was delicious.
Interesting. When me and Nathan caught up, I bought a little apple cake thing. Interesting.
It has to.
Delicious.
It's got to be a very particular kind of apple cake with the little dollop of like icing on top of
course. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just had some ice.
So good. Ah, they're
I
great.
actually made a cake on the weekend. There you go. Full blown.
Ooh,
Kind.
baked upon yourself.
Yep. Lemon drizzle cake.
Ah.
It was actually really
Wow.
quite nice.
Look at you go.
Look
Jeez.
at me go, eh?
I wouldn't take you for a baker. What spurned
Or a
you
candlestick
to
maker.
bake a cake?
I like cakes.
That was it. You just woke up and you were like, "I'm going to make a lemon drizzle cake." Fuck off. There had to be some reason for you to bake it.
I mean,
Master
well,
Zach.
Anna and I wanted to make something. I was kind of angling for like choc chip biscuits because they kind of last a bit longer. Whereas she was like, "Let's
Okay.
go for a cake," and then she said lemon drizzle, and I'm like, "Yeah, sounds pretty fucking good to me." So we made it.
That
And here you are.
conversation sounded way too easy. I've never had a conversation about food that easy with my partner.
You
Mm.
see, I
Mm.
knew that the choc chip biscuits weren't getting the green light, so it was just easy. Just I don't mind lemon drizzle cake. That's good. You're happy. I'm happy. Let's make it. You know.
That doesn't really sound like a compromise as such. It's just more of you being like, I know I'm not going to get what I want. Like,
Well, I mean, I'm happy with either. The thing is, like, the cake's all gone now after one day, whereas like
Yeah.
the biscuits would,
Yeah.
they'd have a week
they would have
long.
lasted.
Correct.
I mean, a week is a bit of a stretch. If you two ate a cake in like 2 days, I don't think cookies would survive.
To be fair, we didn't eat the entire cake ourselves. I took my half to work, and yeah,
Right.
gave him some of my drizzle.
You see
Mm.
Zach
So
out,
close.
out in the rec room out the back, just fucking two-handed stuff a cake.
Fucking
I
hell.
baked this.
Jesus, Adam.
Lemon drizzle.
Hello, mate.
That was a very high pitched. Speaking of drizzle, talk to us about your experience with the Google Fold.
Ah, I've been doing nothing but drizzling. Can't go back. I think it might be flip phones for life now. Having some time away from doing content, and then I had something dropped into my inbox, and I was like, no, I probably should cover that. I'll do it very quickly on my phone. It's usually a bit of an arduous task. You're flipping between tabs and going back and forth, doing this and that. Being able to have WordPress up on one side and my inbox on the other, and seamlessly be typing away shit while reading it from the other page, mate. It's too good. It's too good.
Would you
And
say
just being able to scroll through YouTube, oh mate, on the big screen,
Game
forget
changer?
about it. Game changer, absolute game changer.
Thought so.
Game's been changed.
Very nice.
Can
Well,
never go back.
I'll send you the invoice in the mail, mate. So
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it.
no worries.
Whack it on my tab.
I will. Nathan, how are you going with your new phone?
I think it's much the same as what I mentioned last week. The thing that still kind of astounds me is the camera and just how kind of smart it is in kind of detecting what your like foreground focus is and adjusting the aperture and everything. It's very I don't have to touch shit, and it just produces immaculate photos. Kind of just knows what I'm trying to go for. So yeah, there's probably some of that AI shit at work there as well that you mentioned. They got some stuff going on in the background, just beautiful. So yeah, the Google Pixel 9 is all about that camera, I suppose.
Lovely to hear. Good stuff. All right, we've been playing any video games. Actually, before we do that, anyone watch the AFL Grand Final? Just very quickly. What a fucking snooze fest.
I didn't watch it. I just had the score pinned to my phone because Key and I were away for like a couple nights. But yeah, I glanced at it at halftime and went, "Oh, this is very clearly a shit game for those who are keen." And I checked back in just before it wrapped up, and fucking hell, bad time to be a Sydney supporter. That's rough.
Indeed. Actually, that day, tame day, as I've told James, I don't know, like went home, woke up at like midnight, hot as fuck. Like I was like, there's something demonic inside of me. Power chucked for like 2 minutes, like just endless. Like when you have like too much alcohol and you like fucking got bile and it's fucking it's a real task. Like towards the end, this was just fucking like that scene from Scary Movie, mate. I was just power vomiting for like 8 chucks, and then all of a
I
sudden,
can't believe that you're going for the Exorcist reference through fucking brilliant.
And then fucking went back to bed, woke up the next day, fine. Honestly, one of the strangest fucking things.
Well, dance
Your,
with COVID,
your body
mate.
did all the purging. It was
just-
done. There was nothing left.
Don't know what it was. Massive recovery though. Anyway, video games.
Feel different.
I do look very pale tonight. Like I've
Fuck, you're fully rejuvenated.
mm,
That milky glow. I've got it too, mate. Means I'm
Yeah.
healthy.
don't know about that. Too much lemon drizzle cake, I reckon.
You found me.
It'll do it
I'm
to ya.
guilty.
Well, not enough. Either one.
Either way. All right, James, what have you been playing? Talk to us. I'm
Well,
very
you know what
excited.
I've been playing. That's
I know
why
that-
you wanted
that's-
to start here. Yeah.
That is exactly why.
I have played the opening hour or so of Broken Sword, Reforged, Destinies of Knights, or whatever it's called.
Shadow of the Templars, but okay.
You got
Thank
it.
you. There we go. I get it for the most part. Like I think that it is like immediately very arresting to look at. Even switching to the old graphics, which I do for every new scene that I go into, because I just want to sort of see where we've come from. Old game still looks fucking great. Like I think it's a cool looking thing. The premise is really cool. Like the idea of just, a random bombing in a cafe in Paris by a clown, great. I'm on board immediately. That's just such a kind of pulpy, instantly let's go mystery novel kind of vibe. So that's really good. The writing is surprisingly sharp. Like I've laughed out loud multiple times. It's been more, I guess, progressive, quote unquote, than I would have expected, given some of the other stuff that obviously they've changed to be more up with the times. Like references to right wing slop media made me go like, huh, this is a game from the fucking 80s, 90s,
90s, yeah.
yeah. So all that stuff's really, really good. Gameplay is fine. It's a point and click game. Like you play one, you've played all of them. It is fun to see maybe one of the more progenitor titles though. So I guess it's cool to have that historical context. The only part I don't like is George himself. I find him now, and I've heard that the game plays with this a little bit as you go along, but so far, there's no discernible reason why he's actually involved in anything that's going on, other than that he was just there at the time. And so him walking up to every possible person in Paris and being like, "Are you aware of a bombing? I need to investigate it." It's like, bro, who are you? Like,
Is he not like a PI or someone? I always thought he was like,
No, he's a lawyer.
He
He was a lawyer. Yeah.
oh, okay.
oh, he's just a dude. Yeah,
the
right.
only,
Phoenix
the only
riding his way through.
preamble I get at the beginning of the game is that he's an American in Paris on
Yeah.
holiday, and a bomb goes off
Basically.
next to him, and he's like, "This is my life's mission now." At one point, within the first
goes
hour,
full
he says
American.
to a dude, he's like, "I'm going to chase this clown down every sewer in Paris if I need to." And like, why? Like, it's just very confusing. And I find it a little odd because I think the character writing is mostly really good and the dialogue is mostly really good. And so that there's never a way that he organically establishes why he's doing what he's doing, I find jarring because everything around it is great. But the core of it, every time I start talking to a new person and he just gets weird and aggressive, I don't understand why that's happening. But yeah.
I'm glad that you liked it.
Yeah, no, I did.
10 out
I
of
did.
10.
I'm looking forward to playing more of it.
Good, good. The I did like your interpretation, your rendition of the accents.
Oh, it's awful. It's just so much awful French voice work. Like the whole like mon dieu. Like why? You don't need to do this. You know? Oh, she lives in that apartment. Like, I don't know. Everyone lays it on that thick. It's cartoonish, but I think it is part of the charm, so that's
It is,
fine.
yeah.
Although on the topic of the audio, you were right in your review. The audio mixing is bad.
Yeah.
Like that original voice track is so crunchy and so soft, and then the music they've layered over the top of it is so sharp and loud. It just
Yeah.
blends
So
badly.
so when they obviously recorded it at proper you know, studios. But then when they compressed it for the game, like it apparently got compressed to like 11 kilohertz, right? Which is fucking insanely like
Right,
tiny.
yeah.
So it's just like all this detail. But what I was slightly confused about, and this is where I nearly was like, yeah, do I not give it the 10? Because of that, I was like, this is still, it's talked up as enhanced audio, but I found some of it I didn't find as bad. There were some parts where I'm like, okay, this isn't too bad. But there are other parts where I'm like, yeah, did they just forget this file or?
Yeah, it does
But
feel
also,
that way.
but also it's like, where did all the original files go? Like, but what's interesting, I listened to another podcast with Charles in it, the one of the game director of that game, and he's saying that back, and I kind of recall the story from another interview, but back when the game first came out, digital wasn't like a thing, right? It was all about retail and physical and stuff. So they didn't keep any of the assets. So that they actually fucking didn't they didn't really back anything up. So when they went to actually, so that's kind of why it's taken so long and why they've never really brought it. They've never really remastered it before because they didn't really have much.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Interesting.
It is odd though, because like it's such a well presented package for the most part, and all the new gameplay additions are really nice. But then like that opening line, that iconic, what is it, like Paris in the Fall or whatever?
Yeah.
And I was so excited to get into it and to hear that line in its context for once, and then it just sounds like it's through a two-way radio. It's very strange.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
They yeah. That's probably the game's weakest part. I'm glad that you're playing this though, because this was one of the games, at least the earlier games of that genre, where the puzzles are a lot more logical rather than kind of pixel
Wackadoo
bashing, basically. And like using this with this, that with that. And the UI has always been really, really good in Broken Sword games.
Seems very clean. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Well, look forward to hearing more.
You will.
I hope so. Nathan, have you given it a kick?
No video games that aren't content, I'm afraid. Yeah, that one's, I mean, it's installed. Haven't opened it yet.
All right.
So it'll be sitting there as a little Christmas treat at this rate, with the schedule coming up.
Very nice. Mr. Ryan from WellPlayed, any games you've been playing or just playing with your fold, mate?
Just playing with my fold. Can't keep my eyes off the beauty. So yeah, nothing in the way of games this week. So I'm just here as a passenger along for the ride.
Very nice. I got a couple things very, very quickly. I resumed playing Dishonored 2 last night. I was going to keep going with Death Stranding, but I was like, I kind of feel like I need to start back from the start again because I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Oh, fair.
Although
starting from the start again, not sure if that'll actually help with that, but
all happened.
fair enough.
But then I was like, you know what? This is the perfect time. Like, I get a little bit of time every night, maybe to sit in bed, play Dishonored 2, and I can fucking finally finish this game, right? Like, I've always wanted to sit through and play it. I'm not going to restart it because I'm just not going to have the time. I've already played, I think the game says 21 hours. I'm up to chapter 7. But,
Oh God, no, you're not. Oh.
but remember, I told you this is the kind of game where I fucking, if I get seen by any of the enemies, I will go back and restart and figure out how to like not get seen.
Are you
maybe
doing just very quickly? You're doing a no kill run, or you
I couldn't help myself
kind
a
of
couple of times.
yeah, okay, cool.
It's low chaos, but sometimes
Yeah,
they just deserve it. You know, they need to taste the blade. So yeah, I've been playing that again. Also, did I say this last week? But fucking what's it called? EA Sports FC 25. I've been playing that a little bit more. At this point, I don't know what the major differences are. I think we're at a point with these games, at least, where the differences are so minute. Like, and I do wonder, like, all this money that they've saved from the FIFA deal, right? What's that going to? Because from what I can see, like, well, yeah, because what I can see, it looks like Volta, which is like the street football mode, that's no longer here. I don't think that's here anymore. So you got one less mode. Whether it's coming later,
nice.
I haven't checked, but I mean, it plays fine. That's really all I've kind of got to say on that. And the other thing is I have been playing a game, a point-and-click game, Murder on Space Station 52, which is one I've been keen to check out for a while. That actually dropped on the 25th of September. I didn't even realize it was coming out. But this is, I'll read you the blurb very, very quickly. But trapped on a space station with the keychain killer, you must unravel this mystery or it will be your last. And I think a lot of these games, I think, have a hook. Because obviously the gameplay is not it really. To a certain
what sort
degree.
of game did you say it was? Sorry, was it like a Life is Strange kind of walk around, talk to people kind of thing, or?
No, this is like a point and click game. Oh, right. Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
I
didn't
thought you
hear
were setting
say
up a
point and
bit.
click.
Actually,
Yeah.
No
I
bit
did
here.
too.
Sorry.
No, but this game, if you just have a quick Google, Murder on Space Station 52, this game's, the hook for me here was the art style, right? So it's got a very, like a cartoon, not, I'm trying to think I can't think of the guy or the film, but anyway, there's a vibe that I can, but it's got like a cool little alien sci-fi vibe here. Like a cartoony alien, but not alien kind of thing. If you have a look at it, it's like
does look good.
Gremlins characters, like to a certain degree, and like there's some weird like Octopussy Cthulhu like things going on. So yeah, I've only played maybe an hour so far, but it's quite neat. Nothing groundbreaking, but pretty good so far. That's been me.
Do you ever find point and click games that are groundbreaking, or have they pretty much stuck to the formula for 30 years?
I guess groundbreaking is probably the wrong phrase, but more like really not blockbuster either, but like a game that puts it on the map kind of thing, or spotlights the genre, kind of like your Broken Sword kind of thing. That game, you play for the story, you play for the characters, you play for the the art and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Here, I don't think there's a game that has been that recently is Thimbleweed Park. Is that the one, Nathan? I've actually not played that, but Thimbleweed.
Yeah.
That one was
it's kind of like a satire of the X-Files. It's really good.
Yeah. I've not ever played
quite
it,
liked it.
but that one was quite big recently-ish, like
Yeah, that was a
6-ish.
throwback to a very specific early era of point and click games. It was styled on like the Maniac Mansion, like the really early stuff that LucasArts and that were working on. It's really good.
Mm.
Another one, what was it? Hobbs Barrow?
Oh, Hobbs Barrow's fantastic.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
does Norco fit the bill?
Yeah,
I haven't played Norco.
yeah. Norco would be a point and click game for sure. That game's very good. I think that game was very well received, and that was kind of visual novelty as well as being yeah. So I think that's kind of where you get the groundbreaking stuff these days, where you get that kind of mishmash of genres, sort of.
Having a gimmick helps.
Yeah, but I think you like I said, you need a big draw card, and for this this art style for me is what does it here.
Nice.
Cool. All right, straight into the content, and we're done. All right, we have a couple of
That's it, folks.
we've got a couple of shout outs. We'll go with, well, actually, they're both from Mr. Mark Isaacson, and he has reviewed the Aussie-made game Copycat, which is the one where you play as a cat. If you have not seen it, and he writes, despite some troubled animations and controls, Copycat plays its emotional journey excellently. As a cat owner and someone who has lived somewhat similar events in recent times, its tale of love and loss hit hard, but was a journey worth taking. He gives it an 8 out of 10. He's also reviewed Beyond Galaxyland, which is this neat little. If you ever check it out, it's a kind of neat little pixel arty, not pixel art, but it's like a modern pixel art where it's like stylized kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite neat. He writes, chock full of 80s vibes and sci-fi fun. Beyond Galaxyland is a grand old time. It does stumble occasionally, but the overall package gels together to make Doug and Boom Boom's debut a memorable one. He gives that 8 out of 5. 8.5.
Breaking scales. Look at him go.
Dumb.
Oh, good on him, though. He's had a great run.
Yes.
He has indeed. News.
Great. Oh, I love a light week. This rarely ever happens for us. Frosty Games Fest. I realized I was just about to read out the full headline, which I mean, like, I guess is a way I could be doing the news. But Adam from WellPlayed writes, Frosty Games Fest is a showcase of Australian and New Zealand games happening in June 2025. This is a local effort in a means of, I guess, inverting the Jeff Keighley Summer Games Fest thing, because it's not summer for us down here. It's actually winter, and so I think we're trying to do our own thing. This seems to have been coming from Amy Potter, who is a very well-known name in the video game marketing kind of realm, teaming up with a bunch of other people like Lucy Mutimer, Brakita Sashdev, and WellPlayed's very own Kieran Verbruge, which
Look
is
at him
a
go.
fun little thing. Yeah, I guess in the spirit of ethics and games journalism, we all want to fuck Kieran. So whatever we say here is going to be taken with a grain of salt, obviously.
Do we?
But yeah, no, this
Yeah.
is very, very exciting. They've also secured, Adam, is this right? Is it funding from the government?
Yeah, so from Screen Australia, they have like an offshoot specifically for games and interactive media, and yeah, they've secured some funding from that, which is awesome.
Very cool. Very cool. It's good to see. Zach, I know you're jazzed about this.
Very excited to see this. Looking forward to seeing how it plays out, how it looks,
Mhm.
and what the go is.
For sure.
But
For
good to
sure.
see
Yeah.
Australian and New Zealand devs getting some love.
It is. Yeah, I mean, like, and I think that, like, broadly, we need things that aren't PAX or South by Southwest, whatever's going on with that. Like, I think to have something that is by devs for devs kind of thing is good, or at least by people who are a bit more entwined in the promotion of these things that aren't tied to events necessarily. So Like
The only
Ubisoft doesn't need to be at this, like it doesn't matter if we don't get Xbox for this. This is more about sort of local Australian talent and showcasing that. So
the only thing I am slightly not concerned, maybe concerned, is that I just don't want it to be buried because of everything that's happening around it.
yeah, it's a very busy time of year for massive headline games, so it's
Yeah,
definitely a
so
risk.
so if, what are we hoping to see at next Jeff Fest? What's something off the top of your head? Death Stranding 2? Let's just fucking throw that out there.
Yeah.
Let's say that gets a gameplay trailer and a release date and fucking blah blah blah. I just don't want headlines to be taken away from these devs.
Yeah.
Because I think Australia has not weird. We just have this. We don't love our own enough. I don't think.
No, we don't. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So casual gamers are gonna they're probably not going to see this regardless. But people will be like, oh, don't give a fuck about that fucking indie.
Yeah.
Give me the next shooter.
What a succinct depiction of the gaming market. Yeah.
Uh,
No, I take your point though. I do agree.
Yeah.
I think that especially when something like this is just getting started, you wonder if is it going to only have like small niche things there that only a few small niche audience members care about and self-fulfilling prophecy. But you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
It's glad to see someone taking a swing. So
And I think on the other side, it is good to ride the coattails of those waves that are going to be going
Yeah.
at that time. Yeah, like if they just drop this, like let's say now, right? There's nothing going on, and they were like, oh, we're doing a thing. Kind of, at least it's in that, that.
Yeah, people are looking for gaming content around that time, so hopefully they can steal some eyes. But yeah, I mean, regardless, it's definitely a positive. We just hope that it does well.
Yeah.
It's not too
I'll tell you what won't be at Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest though. It's
What's that,
Horizon
James?
3.
Oh,
Yes. So this has come out of the Spawn Wave podcast. Jason Schreier was on there, and he said, "quote Horizon Online is Guerrilla's next project, not whatever the third single player game looks like. So that might be a ways off." He also goes on to say that PlayStation's live service initiative is no joke internally, and that the Horizon Online project is one of the few that hasn't been cut. And so we are barreling towards the Horizon Connected Universe franchise. Why? What do we think?
Great.
I think it's such a weird one, right? Because I don't think any of us here would say that we're particularly big Horizon fans. And
No.
to me, like, I suppose outside of looking in, I think why Horizon of all franchises to kind of put the machine behind. But I think if you were to look at sales, it is a series that has done quite well.
It's just what I was looking at now.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's a hard one. So I don't know if there is. My fear for Guerrilla with this is they've made a name for this franchise for their the open world single player games, and they've done the Fire Sprite did the VR game. That's kind of there's not as much risk there because it was the one game that the PSVR 2 had. So what the fuck else are you going to play? But again, it's a single player thing. I just don't know how the game and the world and the fans are going to translate to multiplayer.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a weird thing with mostly single player franchises doing that anyway. I think I pissed off Buddy a couple weeks ago because I had a crack at the Last of Us factions, which I did hear about. Buddy, I'm sorry. I'll go on the record and say that I am sorry for saying that. But I don't know. Horizon feels maybe even more like even stranger to shoot that off into a multiplayer thing. Like I can see it could be kind of cool. You're in like a hunting party going after a Thunderjaw or whatever the fuck the big T-Rex thing's called.
Giraffe bot.
Yeah, one of those things. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Have we heard about what it's likely to be? Is it PvE, PvP? Do we have any indication of that yet, or it's just vaguely Horizon multiplayer?
Not that I'm aware of, but I can Google if you want to vamp.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey,
Would
Yeah.
would it
If
go for
you
it, Zach?
had to pitch a Horizon multiplayer game with 10 seconds to think about it, what would it be for you?
I think you do a semi-open world crafting survival game where you can build up a little village and go out hunting with your friends and then bring those parts back to make huts and shit. Because I think people love that kind of co-op joint survival experience, and I think that for me, Horizon's like weakest point is that there's no. I don't see much of a stamp in that world beyond its cool aesthetics, and I think if you got to manipulate those aesthetics, that would be a really cool way to get into it.
Are there multiple factions in the world of Horizon? I've never played it.
Yeah,
Yes, there is. Yep.
So
yeah,
maybe
yeah,
it's
yeah. There are.
oh, okay.
What was that sign, Nathan?
You
So-
don't know. Like,
so-
I feel like he's about to pitch their perfect safe option. It would just be like factionalize
Oh, I see.
all the players and.
I'm just trying to
pretend there's some stake.
what I've not played the game, so I'm just
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I think
like
yeah.
you said,
I think you're maybe closer to what we will get, even though I find that would be kind of, I don't know, unengaging. I'd definitely be more down for like a PvE style thing. Yeah, like you kind of more, I don't know, Monster Hunter, if that kind of, but like you pick a machine out in the world that you want to hunt, and that you have to track it, and like there's multiple stages to finding it, and then preparing for the fight, and then fighting it, and then I don't know, using the resources that you use for whatever. But I'd be down for that.
What if they go that asynchronous route where someone controls the monster, and then 3 other players have to fight it?
Then they put the Thunderjaw in Dead by Daylight and call it a day.
It all loops back.
Yeah, man.
Everything's dead
I'm
by
on board.
daylight. Yeah.
Everything's.
So yeah, I
But
reckon
yeah,
I reckon like you join up, you play as part of a faction, you go out, you collect resources, you come back, and it's kind of like an RTS. You can send units out into the world, explore, the vast open world. There's another little village over there, and you fucking wipe them out. Well, I don't know, something.
as
like
long
that.
as Aloy's not there to be bland as fuck with every minute of screen time she has, then I don't know, the game might be all right. Who knows?
Or it's like the Hunger Games. There you go.
Is that because it's a chick with a bow?
No, I'm just thinking, you just get like 6 people and you fucking all fight to the death. I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
know.
okay.
A battle royale, as the kids call
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see now. Put them on a bus. Throw them out of a bus.
But it's like
That's-
the long game. You got to build.
The bus is flying. That's the twist.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. That would be so good.
I'm
Right, we
not.
got 'em,
I'm not
boys.
playing any of these games. Just
No.
by the way,
No.
you're terrible designers.
Tell you what else people don't seem to be playing is Star Wars Outlaws. So this is just come up relatively recently, but apparently it is 1 million copies in a month, which I was wondering how that compared to other Star Wars games. Unfortunately, someone on Twitter has done the numbers. For reference, Star Wars Battlefield 1 was 9 million in its first week. Battlefield 2 was 1 million in its first week. Fallen Order 10 million over the first few months, and Jedi Survivor 3 million in the first few weeks. So we've got a month and 1 million units for Outlaws. Is this Star Wars fatigue? Is it Ubisoft fatigue? Is it both?
I'd wager maybe a bit of both. I think Star Wars
And
is in
poor
kind
reviews,
of a
I think.
weird. Poor reviews, I don't think helped at all. But Star Wars as a brand is struggling to have any sort of identity, I think, because it's put out too much content to varying degrees of quality. And now we're seeing things like the Acolyte, as divisive as it was, kind of got shit canned. So it can feel a bit hard to be invested in anything Star Wars at the moment, because it's all very it's on shaky ground, I suppose. But then I don't know, it's very much Ubisoft as well. They're in a very strange place where every foot they place down is on uncertain ground, and they seem to be, kicking own goals left, right, and center. So I don't know. That combo is maybe 10 years ago would have done absolute fucking gangbusters.
Yeah.
But in the current space, in both markets, Star Wars and the video game medium, I don't know. Maybe it just happened at the wrong time. Not to
Mhm.
say that, it couldn't have just been a better game and then sold more, but I think it is just coming out at a very odd time for those two cross sections, or for that cross section.
Agreed. You've also got to wonder about and I don't think this affects broad general audiences who aren't super clued into the gaming sphere and whatnot, but like if you've got the developers now coming out and saying the version of this that we shipped and sold you isn't up to scratch, and we're going to spend the next few months working to fix core things, that doesn't make you want to buy a game, right? That makes you go, okay, well, then I will wait for it to be on sale in a few months when you've finished it effectively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like trying to put myself in the shoes of the general consumer, because I think it can be hard for us to do that, because we're like,
Okay.
oh well, we saw what it was looking like beforehand, and at this preview event it was this build, blah 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 blah. But looking at it from going back to my EB days, trying to lock in a pre-order, God forbid, trying to tell someone that it's not going to be like Star Wars Jedi. You're not going to play as a Jedi, but then it's not like Battlefront where, it's big space battles. It's an unknown quantity, but then it's a very, very known quantity. But trying to sell it as an open world action game. And they're like, oh, so, I've already played Assassin's Creed and Far Cry. I don't need to play this either. So like it doesn't hit any niche or any kind of broad strokes either. I don't know. It's an odd game. I don't know. I'm not massively surprised that it's kind of floundering a bit.
Yeah.
I don't reckon 1 million is correct. I think that sounds way too low. That sounds way too low. Because you think about how many consoles are out there. How many was this a multi-platform release or just current
Yeah,
gen?
yeah, multi-platform.
Yeah.
So PS4 and PS5.
And Xbox.
Yeah, but I mean like we're talking.
Yeah, I know.
No, there's no way. There's no way that only 1 million people have bought that game.
It's
Is that
I think that
retail
install's been up
sales?
for about 12 hours now. So okay, so yeah, just PS5. But I mean, still, that's
next
a pretty
gen,
substantial,
Player base.
But I would imagine Ubisoft would want to correct that perception pretty quickly, given that Ubisoft seems to be doing a lot to correct perceptions of Ubisoft at the moment. So,
Well, speaking of, and maybe this is linked to part of this decision, right? And do you want me to continue, James, or do you want to?
no, that was beautifully done. Well done. Like the old
mate.
days.
Thanks,
Well, I
mate.
mean, not like the old days because you were never good at it, but you know what I'm saying.
That was just like the old days, though. Just constantly burning me. Anyway, so Ubisoft has actually announced that Assassin's Creed Shadows has been delayed from November 12 into Valentine's Day next year, February 14. But in good news for PC players, I guess, this will be the first game in a long time, since 2019, that hits Steam day one. So maybe when we are talking about sales and stuff, maybe they've realized that not launching on Steam day one is actually not a good move. Because they were just Epic, right?
Was it?
They were on the
just
Ubisoft platform.
Uplay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
I think it was their own.
Just
I think it was just their
It
own.
might have
I
been
thought
on
they were
Epic as well,
I thought
though.
they were Epic as well. Can we get a fact check on that? Just see if
I
Star
can,
Wars
I can, hang
Outlaws on Epic. But yeah, so they posted, the Assassin's Creed social media team put out a message and just read. I won't go into it in full, but just says Assassin's Creed Shadows is a dream project for us, finally bringing the series to feudal. I'm fucking saying that weird. Feudal Japan, with many features developed with our community in mind, such as parkour or the renewed stealth, brought by new technology, all set in a beautiful and immersive world. This is an ambitious addition to the franchise. a rich experience that can be lived through the eyes of two unique protagonists, but we realize we need more time to polish and refine the experience, pushing further some of our key features. And then it goes on just to say that they have delayed the release, but they will be, so all pre-orders will be refunded, and then they will actually throw in, if you do pre-order it, which is what I'm reading from this, it's only if you pre-order it, is my taking from that you will actually get the first expansion for free, which is a nice little gesture, I guess. Some people think that means there's no season pass. I don't know. They don't really say that.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah.
But James, there's a bit of noise with Assassin's Creed.
Well, there is.
Adam, sorry.
Adam from WellPlayed.
Oh, hello, Adam from WellPlayed. I have just one. I had two quick things, but now I can't think of what the other one was.
Star
Doesn't
Wars?
matter. That's fine. Nah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. That was it. Yes. Is on Epic. You are correct. So
Correct.
we'll hear about that for a week. The other one was, though, with Assassin's Creed Shadows. Do you think the announcement of a second Ghost of Tsushima game has Ubisoft kind of shit in the bed a little bit? Because the whole thing around the Ghost of Tsushima launch initially, which was what, like 4 or 5 years ago, I don't know, was, oh shit, Sucker Punch is doing Assassin's Creed in Japan before Ubisoft is. And then they announce it, there's been a bit of a gap, but then they announce the second game. Like, how much of the Japan-centered market share are they going to be able to corner? Like, yeah, I don't know. It just seems unfortunate timing for them. They announce, that there's a delay, and then in the same breath, there's a new Tsushima. It's a bit rough.
Let's tackle that, and then James, I want to come back to you on the other stuff. So, anyone got thoughts? Nathan, got any thoughts on the question that Adam posed, which was
Ghost of
Ubisoft's
Yotei
spent-
eating Ubisoft's lunch.
That's to assume that either of those two games ever appeal to the Japanese market. If we're questioning
No.
market.
I'm not meaning specifically selling to a Japanese audience. I just mean being an action adventure game set in Japan, because I know that maybe arguably, I don't know, it probably sells better out of Japan because they can, it's pandering to a more Western audience. Yeah, exactly right. Write a haiku while in a hot tub sort of situation. But yeah, I don't know. It just feels like they missed the boat early on, and then they finally like, oh, fuck it, we'll do it. And now it's happening again.
Shadows being the kind of like break glass in case of financial disaster Assassin's Creed setting. And then to have Yotei come along and be like, we're doing it again.
And they will have a polished product, whereas Ubisoft still trying to catch up. I mean, Mirage was okay, but Valhalla is still not. It's still clunky. Still struggles on a good day.
Even though they're similar, they're different. If that.
I mean, like on a minutia level for sure, but Adam's right in that Ghost of Tsushima's whole thing was they're doing Assassin's Creed Japan before Assassin's Creed does it. Like I distinctly remember that being the narrative, and so it's like if that perception exists and is there, yeah.
I think I just feel like Ghost is a lot more cinematic. Let's put it that way. It's a lot more AAA, if for lack of a better term.
Isn't that weird to think of it that way, given it's Ubisoft? But like, yes, I know exactly what you mean.
Like big, like blockbuster. Whereas you just, we guess it's another Assassin's Creed. It's a what does Nathan always say? Fast
food title.
Yeah, junk food. Like it's just one of those things where you can sink. Have they said this one's a smaller title as well?
Can't imagine so.
The early marketing was suggesting that it was going to be akin to their Valhalla Odyssey Origins. We're talking like a 50+ hour game potentially.
Yeah. So you'll get the people who just love to, sink all that time doing fucking who knows what.
Nothing.
Yeah. But James, there's been
Mm.
some headlines.
Oh yeah.
More.
What
Yeah, but
what kind of headlines?
I thought it was you that brought it up in the Slack. Ubisoft's been
No, that was Mark. I
oh
can hang on.
right.
To be fair, that particular one was
Actually,
about a
I think it was
statue.
KV, wasn't it?
Maybe I don't.
Oh.
There
Oh,
was a
but I mean,
statue
you're
that they
broadly.
released. Yeah, that depicted a broken Torii gate, which is not a wonderful
Mm.
thing to do for Japanese culture. So, but it comes off the back of they used a flag, like an incorrect flag, and there's just a whole there's becoming a bit of a list of things that they really
Mm.
should have ran past a cultural expert before
Yeah,
including.
absolutely.
And for a company that size, you wouldn't think that would be an awfully difficult thing to do.
Mm.
But yeah, that's kind of what I was alluding to by them having like a long list of own goals. It's just
Right.
yeah, I don't know.
Mhm.
It's a bit awkward for old Ubisoft. Do we think that I think there were rumors that circulated a couple of years ago that maybe Ubisoft was going to get bought out. I don't know. I think it was during when
Yeah.
Microsoft was acquiring half the world. Do we think it's possible that that happens at all? Like, say, Shadows tanks and doesn't do well, Outlaws never improves and doesn't sell, and they do look to sell up. What do we think happens there? They would just get bought out for the IP and everything else dissolved? Because I don't see it as like a huge mega power in the gaming scene as it was on years gone by.
A Solid 7 company buys a Solid 7 company. That's what I fucking feel
Yeah,
like
I
that
could
is.
see that.
Heard you first,
Like,
Zach Jackson.
I think if you streamlined the Ubisoft machine, and that's a horrible thing to say because it would absolutely lead to layoffs because that company is colossal at this point. But I think that there's a core focus you could pull that you could make solid 8 out of 10 games that people would be very happy with, and you slow down and you give them once every couple of years or whatever. But like that's antithetical to the entire Ubisoft machine. That thing is a house of cards supporting many, 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 many jobs. And yeah, I don't know. I just don't see a way in which that goes well.
what I would love to see is like the old Ubisoft. And what I mean by the old
Yeah.
Ubisoft is like where they would publish games,
Mhm.
and they wouldn't have their
Mhm.
fingers in everyone's pies. They would just
Yep.
be like, cool, let's go and do fucking Dark Watch. I'm pretty sure they published Dark Watch, right? Like this cool, like
Mm.
cowboy vampires shooter game. Like just get, yeah. I don't know, because it just feels like their formula is it's just the same. Or like, well,
Mhm.
properly listen. They say that oh, we're listening to fan feedback, but it's like, are you?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
where's
It's the
fucking
same
Splinter
thing
Cell?
that it's coming. We promise. We're just going to do this anime with Netflix, and then we'll do a game. Um, it's the thing that we give PlayStation shit for, right? Where they're like, my dad was having a crack at about 1 million live service games. And we're like, yeah, you probably missed the boat there. And now they're pivoting away from that. Fantastic, but it was them chasing a trend. And Ubisoft kind of never got out of that. They had some hits with Assassin's Creed and with Far Cry, and they were like, "Oh fuck, you like that? Let's do it again, 9 times over
And
over
again and
the next
again.
15
Yeah.
years." And it just doesn't seem like they ever moved out of like their 2 or 3 or 4 hits. And occasionally they'll do something like Rollerdrome, and I'll be like, oh, okay, they're
Mm.
at least branching out a little bit. But if it's not an immediate success, shit canned. And it's just, yeah, I don't know. It's bizarre to see them just not go anywhere. It's weird.
Is
It's
your mate
unfortunate.
still kicking about? Our Riders Republic.
It's still about, yeah.
Okay.
It's surprising that it is, but it is still about. They added skateboards and shit. Game's still fun. So,
When's the last time you
they get a
played it?
tick for that. Fucking ages ago, man. Ages ago.
But game's still fun though. All right.
Oh, fuck me. Sorry.
Sort your priorities out. Play something fun, Adam. Come on.
No, I'm just teasing. All right. Speaking of fun, Xbox was at TGS.
Oof.
Did we,
Oh.
Huh?
Reckon you'll miss it.
did we know that?
No.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, James. All right. So anyway,
Um,
we won't go through the whole thing, but Xbox were there. The main thing that I mean, the only thing that I've really gathered from what they showed off was that they had a new trailer for Metal Gear Solid.
Mhm.
No date though, which I'm quite surprised about. I really thought that we'd be getting a date at this point.
Mm,
Anyone
I
got
agree.
any thoughts on the trailer? Look good.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like the
yeah.
old game, but no.
Haven't watched it.
Yeah, I go back and forth on thinking it looks incredible, and then also thinking like it kind of lacks a bit of pizzazz. You know,
Mm.
there's not much like ooh ah ah.
All right. Yep. I feel you. Feel you on that one.
I mean, I wanted to say so many other things that I would have had to have bleeped in post, so I'm glad I just haven't done that.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
No worries. Adam, your mate slid ahead, and James, your mate
Yep.
as well. Got a
Oh,
little showing.
Really? Did it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Very
well,
brief, but it
yeah,
was there.
yeah. Anybody see anything else that they frag punk?
I mean,
Ah,
yeah.
I
Looks
don't want
good.
to. I don't want to be keen on Fragpunk because it's another first-person shooter that I'll probably try and convince people to play. But it does look pretty. It looks pretty fun.
Xbox
I'm
it
looking
is,
forward
yes.
to the Suikoden remasters.
Oh, yeah. That's.
Okay.
I just saw that's probably the only thing really grabbing me.
I mean, like, there's a bunch of stuff in here that is like, yeah, cool. I'm into
Yeah.
like I'd say a solid half of these things, but it's also there's nothing in there that makes me go like Xbox. It's just cool games that I'm going to play on my PlayStation.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, speaking of playing things on your PlayStation, a couple of things you won't be able to play on that is the StarCraft Remastered and StarCraft 2 because they're coming to PC Game Pass.
They
I
certainly are, aren't
forgot that StarCraft was still an IP that had any like eyes on it at all. Like I'm sure it still has like
That game
I
is
don't know. I'm sure they
awesome.
still have competitions and shit because they have competitions for old games, but they haven't done anything with StarCraft in fucking ages. Like a
Like, me
really
too,
long
mate.
time.
StarCraft
I
2
wonder if it's
just
still big in Korea.
got to be, surely.
Wild.
Surely.
Nailed
All
it
right.
too.
Speaking of things that have got the number 2 in it, we got the trailer for the second season of The Last of Us 2. Last of
yeah, I
Us?
haven't
Sorry?
watched it.
Oh, okay.
Neither.
I mean, I promise you, it looks exactly the way you expect.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of why I didn't make it a
Looks good, though.
priority, but
Looks
I'll give it a
Looks like the game.
looks good.
I mean, I like the game looks great. So yeah.
How do you feel? How do you feel like? I know we've already kind of talked about it, but seeing little bits and pieces now, how do you feel like people are going to react to Abby?
poorly.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Okay.
just don't know what that audience is going to be like.
I don't think it'll be as vitriolic as it was
No.
for the game by any stretch, come to think of it, because there isn't I don't think there could possibly be the same sort of attachment to Joel and Ellie as there was with the game. Like it doesn't feel like the show has that enough.
Mhm.
And the people who do have that attachment have already gone through that with part 2, like the game version. So
Yeah.
not as much. And also I'm at the tail end of the trailer and yeah, it looks exactly like part 2.
It does. Yeah. I saw something went around. I think that the porch scene is going to be happening a bit earlier, which feels like an interesting choice given that that scene is like a pivotal part of the final act of that game.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think they did say that they were open to changing some things. So who knows how
Yeah.
this is all going to go down.
I think Neil Druckmann came out and he said that they're going to be tweaking some things like they did in season 1. So
I think they could be a little more heavy-handed with those tweaks, if I'm honest. Like, that's only coming from someone who's played both the games and doesn't just want a retelling. And I know that's,
Yeah.
probably not what's going to happen, but
Yeah.
I don't know. If they just condense the fucking thing slightly, I think that would certainly help, because that game is far
Unwieldy.
longer than it needs to be. It's just it's a bit ridiculous.
Mhm.
time will tell. It comes out in 2025, most likely on Binge in Australia. I guess that's where the HBO stuff lands.
Feels
Very-
like they made this quite quickly. Now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like we only just had season 1, but it also probably was like 2 years ago. Time just
it's
feels
like-
weird now.
Isn't it like 3 years ago? Like,
Is it?
sorry, like as in by the time 25, the season 2
Well,
comes
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
It came. When was it? It was late 2022.
Jesus,
Yeah.
is that right?
I mean, we got Google right here, boys. Let's
We
sort
do.
this one out, eh?
All right. While we get to a little bit of a fact check, I got 2 very, very quick news, just headlines for you. Our good mates.
15th of January 2023.
Okay,
See,
right.
there you go. Yeah.
Right, okay. All right. Our good mates from New Zealand, Hyperreal, they actually announced that Blackheart, their little Hades-inspired action RPG game, is landing in 1.0, so the full release coming to Steam on October 30. So check that out if you haven't already. And the second thing is actually, and we didn't cover this, but a little tweet from Mike Blackney. Now, who is Mike Blackney, you ask? Good question. He is the developer for Dead Static Drive. Do we all remember that game?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Do you all remember them last year being like, this is fucking coming, Q3 2024? Guess what? Ain't coming, mate.
2025.
It's
And it's so
been-
funny because I distinctly remember at the time you being like, why would you announce a release date so far out? This doesn't make any sense. And they've still managed to miss it.
Yeah, so that's been delayed till Q1 2025 at this point. But if I didn't know Mike and he was and he's a top bloke, I'd say this is fucking day before 2.0, mate. But actually, speaking of fucking day before 2.0,
Oh, they're back.
Oh my god.
what do we?
Oh yeah, they are back.
How do we feel about that?
Fuck them. Come on, man.
All right, so
You gonna hit them up?
I've been waiting for them, mate. They come to me. I'm playing hard to get.
I want to
So-
check in on their Kickstarter. Fuck, I hope it's doing poorly.
So I'm just gonna read this from.
Kickstarter to manage to make no negative money. You know.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I think it was funded.
Oh.
I
It'll
should-
turn out
actually-
it'll be funded by themselves or their
Actually-
volunteers or something.
Well,
Just
yeah.
money laundering.
It was
yeah.
it was funded by fucking volunteers. All
Actually-
volunteers.
Don't know, by the way.
Fintech says our backers aren't actually entitled
No.
to fucking anything.
Nowhere near funded. So far away from funded.
You love to see it.
All right, so basically last week, fucking the social media for Fantastic revived itself, respawned, and they said that, we're trying to make amends. We're sorry for all the shit we did. Give us another chance. Everyone deserves a second chance. They're now, their philosophy is like honest marketing and fucking, whatever it is.
Yeah, we'll give that a crack.
They said in a tweet, regaining trust will be tough, but we're motivated to make more games if our Kickstarter succeeds. With its all or nothing model, contributions will be refunded if we miss the target, which is just Kickstarter anyway. We value your support, and all funds will go to development, not profit. Like, that's basically what Kickstarter is. Anyway, so they announced like a little free to play. Sorry, not free to play. Well, actually, I think it is free to play. I think the game will be free to play, right? Am I reading?
You'd fucking hope not if you're
Or there's-
backing it.
Hang on, sorry. There's a demo. I swear it was free to play.
There's a free demo. There is a free demo.
Maybe that's where I'm getting confused. Which is called like Factory Escape or
Escape Factory. You were so
Escape Factory. Yes. So what's the total?
So they're asking for $22,485. So a fairly low ask. It's been up for over a week, and we've got
Very low ask.
3,369. So they are a long way from the finish line.
Yeah, they ain't.
I think it's dead on arrival. Shit.
But did you also hear about how they talked about they're not doing volunteers anymore, but they have
Oh,
people working for Goodwill or something like that?
So another word
So we
for
rebranded
volunteer.
them because we realised that people don't like the V word.
They're like Fantastic 2.0. They're volunteers 2.0. It's fine.
And
Don't worry about it.
I swear they said that. I don't want to put. Yeah, here. So there's FAQ on there.
Poorer,
Here we go.
sadder, and less efficient.
Okay, let me find. Has the team at Fantastic changed? Our team has become smaller, but it still consists of the same people who created all of our previous games. So the Dodgy Brothers are still there. Some team members are helping out on a goodwill basis. Some are juggling other jobs, and some are working only in the evenings. We all still love Fantastic and are hopeful for a successful return. Anyway, what do we think? They're nut jobs, aren't they?
Dog shit.
yeah, come on.
I also
So-
don't think the one looking for a second chance can't be the person to say everyone deserves a second chance. That's not how that works. Like,
It's just a little
Come
goof
on.
up the first time, you know. Don't we all make mistakes?
also, I fucking love that they're like, their whole thing was, no, the day before wasn't a scam. We didn't ask for people's money up front. So next time we'll ask the money up front. Like,
Also, the whole like, how can you say it's a scam? We refunded everyone. like,
Mm.
okay.
fuck off.
There was also a
God.
I don't know if it was a video or an article, but basically someone and this new game, Factory Escape, or whatever the fuck it's called. I keep calling it Factory Escape. What's it called? Escape Factory.
Zach. Come on.
Basically,
Catchy title.
I hope it's just a little asset flip they whipped up.
Basically, yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyway, enough about them.
Great.
All right.
Cool.
Off topics, shall we?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right, Nathan, did you get my text?
I did, mate. I'm ready to
Good.
go. You ready to
All
go?
right.
Do you want to
No.
do it first or after?
After. I just wanted to make sure that you got the text. So I didn't have to scramble.
Baby.
That's it, baby. All right, especially on the Google to Google. Oh, pixel to pixel, baby. All right.
Sparks.
Stuff. What have we done this week? We watched, read, listened to anything that we want to talk about?
Well, I've been reading, boys. I'm going to talk about my
Nice.
book this week. Because now I'm getting to I'm reading like a book a week now. This is great.
That's
So I'm
pretty
still
good.
on my China Mayville kick. I've read his first book, his debut book. And now I get to talk about that for a minute. So it's called King Rat. It's set in 90s London against a backdrop of jungle, drum and bass music. So music's very important to this. A dude, so he's like a mid-20-somethings. He answers a knock on his door in the morning. Police officers, they say, "What's up, mate? Your dad's lying face down, dead on the front lawn. He's jumped out the window, and we think you're involved. You come down to the police station." While he's there, a shadowy figure slips into his cell, slips him out of the cell, slips him up the roof, and then bounds him across the rooftops. Turns out that it is his uncle, King Rat, shadowy figure who's been around for hundreds of years. He's a kind of hybrid human type of figure who is aptly king of the rats. Turns out young Saul is half human, half rat. He's got some powers that are manifesting as he eats trash. He now is Rat Man. And he's entering into the eternal war between the Rat King and the Pied Piper, who has the ability to make all the rats, birds, dogs, cats bend to his will. It's so fucking silly. I loved it to bits. I smashed it in a week. China Mayville's such a sicko.
Is it actually good?
Yeah, I fucking
okay.
loved it. I thought it was brilliant.
Cool.
Because China Mayfield, his whole thing is like weird fiction. Like he's just, he's contemporary with someone like Jeff Vandermeer.
Oh. I mean, you know how to get me. Fuck off.
Just big
Fine.
weird.
Look
Capital
it up.
W weird.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
Watched anything else or?
No, I've been heavy on the reading. I'm loving text at the moment. It's
Reading
so
is good, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, I finished Assassin's Apprentice, the first book in that Robin Hobb series. I'm now deep into Royal Assassin, having a
So
tremendous time.
you'd recommend?
Oh yeah, hugely. Very, very good so far. But this weekend I binged The Leftovers season 1.
I
Has
love The
anyone?
Leftovers. That is one of my
Excellent.
favorite shows.
Good,
It
good,
just gets
good.
better and better,
So I've heard. I've heard season 1's like the weakest, which is wild because
and it's
season 1
still
is
good.
already excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like episodes 1 to 6 on a Saturday night and then finished it on the Sunday night. Just had tremendous time. So harrowing, so hard to watch at times because it is just like existentially exhausting. And its use of violence is so shocking. But yeah, like genuinely some of the best television I've ever seen. I cannot wait for more of it.
Pays off so good.
I believe it.
Awesome stuff. Adam.
Hello. Not much from me. I was saying to the boys prior to the potty that I started the first Star Wars novel from the High Republic era. I think it's called Light of the Jedi. Nathan would say that it is junk food reading, and it is. But I don't know, man. There's Jedi
There's
and a
50
whole bunch of different
shades.
aliens, and yeah. Nah, look, I'm having a fun time with it. I'm like 3/4 through. It's blasting through it, so I can get to the second book more or less. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I was in the middle of nowhere for the last few days, so reading was top of the list. Yeah,
Love
that's
our
about it.
books.
Cool. I got not much for you. Not much. Watched
More slow horses. Jeez.
more slow horses.
Mhm,
Just
Oh.
mhm.
still just a little bit slow.
Slow.
Hey.
Sign up to Shudder. I don't really know how to work it.
Sorry.
It's to be fair, it's an odd app. Like
Okay.
it's filled with B grade movies, and it's kind of a B grade app at the same time. So I kind of get it.
Well, I signed up through Amazon. Is that how you do it? Like, or is there an
Yeah,
You don't
actual?
have to. That is one way.
There is a standalone app.
There
Yeah,
is.
so fucking Anna signed up, and then she went into Amazon, and then so I've got Prime, right, and then fucking sees, oh yeah, Shudder, goes into it, signs me up. Shudder is
Nice. Good.
but then it's
I
like,
thought it doesn't.
it's like-
It's supposed to like send you an email and then be like, "Hey, you down for this? You want a party?"
not with fucking Amazon. It just said, cool, your
That's what it
trial.
does for me.
Well, no,
Yeah.
I think it came up and said, do you want to start your trial? And I was like, yeah, I just did that, so it's all good.
Okay.
But like she was waiting for it to ask her to log in, but I was already logged in through Prime, so it's just like, you're in, baby.
Bezos was like, come through, have a look at Shudder. Go on.
But it says like, so it gives you like a Netflixy, you know, like a menu. But then it says like hit more or hit start or select or whatever the fuck button is to see more. Because Anna was looking on her phone, like on the thing, she's like, there's so many more films on the like I can see on the library on my phone than on the app, and I could not figure out how to get to the main fucking.
Because you're
thing.
effectively flipping through like the preview. Because the Amazon's meant to just be like a feeder through to Shudder, because you can do it through there, but it's only going to give you like the.
Yeah, but how do I
top,
get to the
you know.
real Shudder from Amazon?
Just
don't
download
think-
Shudder, mate.
So
I don't-
does it work
Oh,
like that? When it
Yeah.
takes it onto his Amazon Prime, because he's technically subscribed through Amazon, not through
Correct. I
Shudder
think-
Direct.
Yeah, but the Shudder app, I think, is like you know how it gives you the whole. Would you like to sign up or continue with Google? I think it's like a continue with Amazon kind of situation. I could be
There
wrong,
you go.
but
Alright, anyway.
I think that's the issue you're running into.
Anyway, started watching a film called Oddity, fell asleep. That's pretty much the end of that story.
There was a long build up to that, man.
Well, I know, right?
That
I
was
just
a long
wanted
build
to,
up to like a 3-syllable story. Just boom, boom,
I just
boom.
wanted to vet my challenges with
Good movie.
Shudder.
Mm. Yeah. I see,
Actually, no,
Nathan.
I did make Anna watch The Butterfly Effect this week, so
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
she liked it. So
Whoa, look out.
take that back, Nathan. All right, 2000s film of the week.
All right. Let's jump straight into the description on this one. And then we'll start drizzling, lemon
Workshop
drizzling
it.
a few clues through. A police officer, name bleeped out because it's the name of the film, whose family was killed under a conspiracy, and an assassin on the lookout for her sister's murderer come together to fight a dangerous enemy and uncover a shocking secret. This film came out in 2008.
Salt.
No,
Damn.
no. This is
all I
this is a male lead.
Okay.
And I feel I can almost guarantee as soon as I say the male lead, I'm giving it away. So I'll give away the main co-lead is Mila Kunis playing the love interest.
Oh no.
Friends with
No.
benefits, obviously.
That's what I was
this
thinking
is
too.
an action film.
So is that.
It's an action film.
Fuck off, James.
Action detective noir film, perhaps.
Mila Kunis. Ooh,
Based
that
off
is-
a famous video game trilogy. Now we're
What?
talking
Oh,
video
it's
game
Max Payne.
adaptations.
What is
Got
it?
him.
Oh,
Bullet
that's a
time,
bad film.
baby.
That's a bad
Marky
film.
Mark Wahlberg.
Marky Mark, yeah.
What's the film, sorry?
Max Payne.
Oh.
Is that in your disc wallet, mate?
That's a fucking bad film.
it is.
That is not in the disc wallet, mate.
I've had
Thank
this one.
God.
I've had this one in the chamber for a few weeks. Been waiting to work this one out.
I got some Marky Mark
Yeah, do you
stinkers,
guys
but
know it's got
not that one.
Ludacris? Ludacris stars in this one. I don't remember
Oh.
him being in it.
That film is.
I'm not going to
ludicrous.
rewatch it to see him in it. I'll be honest.
Does he still make music?
Yes.
No, surely not.
Did he ever make music?
Ludacris.
But like good music though? Like,
well,
was he
subjective,
was he
isn't it?
big?
He was big in the early 2000s, mid 2000s.
What's his biggest hit?
Well, I mean, Baby with Justin Bieber.
Oh. Oh no.
Mm,
And you know I'm fucking right. That has to be his biggest one.
oh, okay, that's not who I was thinking of.
He's in the Fast and the Furious films.
Yeah, I don't know who I was thinking of.
Yep. I don't know
Fat,
either.
fat,
No, he doesn't still make music.
fat rabbit. Best Ludacris songs. 20 Dirty South Essentials.
Oh, we've run out of runway.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
We've passed that to that 60s getting loose, boys.
All right. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the WellPlayed DLC podcast. You can check out the content on www.well-played.com.au. Next week, there will not be a podcast because we'll be getting ready and prepared for big PAX. But we'll have plenty to talk about post-PAX week. And I don't think there's anything big going up next week. I think it's pretty...
Oh, there is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There
Okay.
is.
Anyway, we'll talk about those things another time because I don't know what they are at the moment. But hope you have a good weekend. And if you're hanging about at PAX, come say hi. We'll be wearing the purple t-shirts, won't we, lads? On
Nope.
Saturday.
No.
On Saturday.
No.
I
Never
really
again.
like the white.
That's the Friday.
Bye.
That's the Friday. Bye.
Okay,
Goodbye.
cheerio.